All right. It's that time, everybody. And cooking with Tittle from Maryland's Cafe Society. Well, welcome, everybody. Welcome to the first summer special edition of the show on this Tuesday, the 21st day of June. How are you all doing? How are you doing? Listen, I'm a little hyped up today, and you can see why. I have one of my favorite radio ladies on with me from back in the day. She's going to be hanging out. We're going to be chit-chatting on the show and just having a good time. So listen, how was Father's Day and how was Juneteenth? For me, I enjoyed both days because listen, I worked. You guys know my dad's not with me anymore, so there was no, spending time with him. So work kind of took things off my mind. And as for Juneteenth, well, it's always a special day to celebrate our freedom, right? And what do they call it? Jubilee Day as well. Yeah, what did you do, Tittle?
Well, I'm so glad to be free. I just singing that award-winning song by John Baptiste.
Oh yes,
to be free.
Yes.
I couldn't get that rhythm out of my head, But
he's a firecracker.
Yeah, my dad is no longer with us, my mom either, but I salute all of those dads who raised their own kids, We have a lot of single dads out there who, for reasons and circumstances, had to raise their own kids. And one of them is my tax man, and he is a fine example of what a good dad has been. So yes, we were celebrating freedom and fathers.
That's right. And it was
words.
It was beautiful, beautiful weather. You just couldn't ask for better days to enjoy both. So as you all see, the show is a bit different from our usual setup because we are rolling into the summer specials, and I'm so glad to have this young lady on with me for this very first summer edition of Maryland's Cafe Society. And so I think I should officially announce her. Yeah. And let you know who she is.
I used to get a lot of different names. and I could tell you some of the funny ones, but you go ahead and do your thing, babe.
Sure. So she's a radio legend. Yes, she is. She's a trailblazer for women in radio, an actress, a model, a soulful cook. Yeah, she's Chicago's very own La Donna Tittle in the middle. Welcome to the show. Listen, she has a list of accolades and awards that's way too many to mention, but hopefully before we get out of here, we'll at least get to talk about a few of them, right?
You're right. I'm holding up my new swag.
That's right. Cooking with Tittle. And so, that's one of the things that you are involved with.
Bon appetit, let's eat. That's what I came up with. And it's the 20th year anniversary. I can't believe it, Marilyn.
Yeah.
20 years goes by so fast, and hoping for 20 more. And cooking is one of the things that I've loved to do all of my life.
Yes.
Even during the days of JPC, when I actually got the chance to bring my grill to the front and feed Isaac Hayes some of my chicken that I cooked on the grill.
All right. And he gave it a thumbs up, right?
All the fun days we had back then. So I'm writing on my memoirs for radio. I'm writing on my first cooking book.
Okay.
And I'm doing another interesting collaboration with one of my professors from Chicago State University way back then.
Okay.
Back 150 years ago.
Well,
I've been in
that's
radio 150 years ago.
well, it hasn't been that long, but you were a part of the Women in Radio during the early days of Black radio. When we were, during the WVON days, and I think you hit the airwaves in the early '70s, right? With
Yes, as a matter of
WBEE.
fact, I was while at Chicago State University
Hmm.
in the late 60s.
Okay.
In 69, I started doing some public service announcements
Okay.
for WBEE, which was my first radio station to join.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the rest is history. I went there diligently, and I was going to college. Most people go to college for 4 years. I went to college for 7 years.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I had to work.
Yes, I get it.
I had to work, man. And back then, you didn't fill out all them papers for no loans. That was too much business.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't let your business. My mother, she was private like that.
Okay.
But the thing of it is I started going to WBE doing their public service announcements for them. And I learned more about the workings of radio, because back then you had to do your own engineering work with putting your commercials together,
Hmm.
splicing the tape,
Yes.
putting the music under that. If you couldn't do a little engineering with your own commercials, you were out of the loop.
Okay.
But that was the beginning of my radio and music career. And along the way, you find your favorite people that you love. And I'm so inspired by the Prince, of course. These
Yes.
were his glasses that he wore.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
And believe me, this is gas money and food money for the next month.
All right. All right.
But
Oh,
that's what
wow.
you do for Prince. Of course, this year being his anniversary of his death.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
It's so sad because I got to meet Prince and I got to interview Michael Jackson. So
Yes.
those are two of the highlights of
Highlights.
my radio career that I'm going to be writing about in my book,
Fantastic.
is my encounter with both of these two gentlemen. So
Yeah, two
yeah.
iconic people, and the list just goes on for you. You've been fortunate enough to have a long career in radio, and as I say, in my opinion, you were one of the trailblazers. In terms of trailing the path, opening, getting that pathway going so that folks like me could get into it. I remember hearing you on the radio, Tittle in the Middle, and I was like, oh, listen to that voice. And I think when I finally met you in the early '90s and was one of your interns, I used to ask you, how do you get your voice to sound like that?
I'm like, I
And
don't know. I asked
yeah,
my mom and my
yeah,
dad.
yes, yes. I just adored you. And so,
You never know that you're going to have an iconic experience. I mean, look at you, Marilyn.
yeah.
You're about the same age I am, 150. So we've been there together. Okay, we've been there together. And I tell you, my voice, my mother would answer the phone, and until she would say, well, La Donna's not here, they would tell all their business before she would say, oh, I'm not La Donna, I'm her mother. So
Oh,
she could know all of my business, what
see,
my girlfriends were saying to me. If it
yes,
was a fella, she would ask him, yeah, yeah, Girl, please. My mother was the first voice on the phone. You know those sex voices that you
yes,
hear?
yes, yes,
Sure,
yes.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, talk
Okay.
to me. Oh, and then she'll go, well, Adonna's not here. I'm like, mother,
After the fact, after the fact.
trying to
Okay,
know
that is
knowing your
funny.
business, but
That's
I
funny.
think that's what more kids need today. I
Mhm.
mean, we would think our parents were nosy in our business. As my mother used to say, you ain't got no business till you get a job.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So many
Yes.
iconic statements that brought me to where I am, this journey, and it
Yes.
continues. Yeah, it
Yeah.
continues.
Well, before we talk more about you, let's just acknowledge the fact that today is summer solstice.
Ah,
And we all know that that is the day, this is the day of the year where we get the longest period of sunlight, or if you flip it, the shortest period of darkness, however you want to look at it. But officially, it's summertime, right?
look here, glass half empty, glass half full. I feel it's another 150 years to my life, and I'm happy.
So I've always said that I like warm weather, but I don't like extreme heat. So, in my opinion, summer is not like my favorite season. Spring is. What's your favorite season?
Hot summer in the summertime.
Okay, let's cue
Hot
up the
fun in the summertime.
Sun Goddess.
Yes, that's one of my favorite songs.
Yes. All
Yes,
right.
I love that. I
And
love
so,
that. I love hot fun in the summertime.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
love Hotter Than July, Stevie
Yeah, yeah,
Wonder,
yeah,
who I
yeah.
also interviewed and emceed on the show. He gave
Mm,
me his harmonica on stage. So that's when I learned how to play harmonica. So I
okay.
do that too.
Yeah.
But summer is my favorite time.
Summer. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Very good.
I like the change of the seasons. Even a cold winter day, if it's looking beautiful, it's beautiful to me.
Yes, I get it.
But I could live in a moderate to spring to summer weather for the rest of my life. It would not hurt me.
Gotcha.
I
Gotcha.
always say there are a couple of playwrights that I would want to do for the rest of my life, which would be August Wilson and Shakespeare. And there are a couple of seasons that I would like the rest of my life, spring into summer.
Got it. Very good. All right. So LaDonna,
Yes, ma'am.
as you've been teasing us during this whole opening of the show, you've pretty much done it all. Radio, television, theater, modeling, and so much more. Tell me, tell me what inspired you to get into this tough business of entertainment.
So many things. First of all, I guess my mom, my dad. My dad was a bartender, but he also was a longshoreman, but he also was a funny man.
Mhm.
My mom was a business person. She went to a Jones commercial and she always wanted 5 kids. Well, she got her 5 kids. And I was the oldest. And being the oldest, I guess my dad always wanted a boy first. So I literally had to grow up being a kind of tomboyish. So I wasn't that silly girlish kind of thing, that, oh, I'm afraid, I got to be protected.
Mhm.
No, my father would kick your ass if you lost sight. I'm not kidding you. I can recall one time this girl used to bully me so bad. I was so scared of her in grammar school at Shakespeare. And one day we decided we're going to meet behind school and have it out, have a fight. And I was so scared of her. I beat her up so bad. I scratched her face. I beat her out of her training bra. And do you know we became the best of friends after that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually when you put a bully in their place, they
Yeah, all of a
respect
sudden
you.
they want to be your friend.
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
weird? And that's
yeah,
the weirdest thing.
yeah.
And so that's how so after that, the teachers heard about this fight that we had. So they called my parents up and naturally they called, her name was Denise. they called Denise's parents up. And so my father, he's like, well, La Donna, I've always taught, no, my mother, you sent my mother up to school, right? And it was my dad. I think my dad and my mom came up to school.
Okay.
And so my dad told the teacher, he said, well, I know La Donna couldn't have started it because we teach her, unless somebody put their hands on you, you should not be fighting them and you dare not start a fight.
Yes.
So the teachers didn't care for that. But at the same time, my father said, now, La Donna, what happened? So I told him about the girl that had been bullying me, and I told the teacher about it. But, they said, well, try not, turn the other cheek. That's the first time I heard that, turn the other cheek. But we didn't have that kind of concept in my house. No, you turn the other cheek, you're going to get knocked out. Somebody going to blindside you and hit you. Don't run up on a fight if you see a fight, and don't start a fight. That was the rule.
Yes.
So the teacher said, well, she's going to be suspended for a day. And so I got suspended for a day. But when we left the school, my father said, did you win? I said, yes, Daddy, I win. I beat her so bad, I beat her out of her training bra. He said, good. And took and got me a double dip of ice cream.
Okay.
On an ice cream cone, girl.
Got it.
I'm like, I know I should win from now on.
You gotta be tough, right?
That was an inspiration. If at first you get knocked down or you feel scared, stand up. You never know, it may not be as bad as you think.
This is true.
And of course, with getting into modeling and acting, there's always that 98% rejection, but that 2% that you get feels so good.
Okay.
And it could be,
because that win is truly a win.
A win, yeah.
Yes.
So, this business is, don't be afraid to fail, but don't stay in that failure mode. You can make it better. And dreaming takes sweat and hard work. It's nothing simple about this business. And I tell people that I talk to, classes that want to be in acting, I said, learn how to read first, learn how to comprehend, understand the written word, and really get into a field that you want to be. If you want to be an engineer, be an intern at a laboratory, an engineering school, or something that can put you in that path. If you want to be in radio, everybody can't be a radio jock. Everybody can't be an announcer, but you may want to get into sales. There's no limit in sales. You can make $1 million as a salesperson.
This is true.
If you want to be in real estate, get into a real estate internship. There's so many advantages that are offered to people of color. And it's amazing. If you're born with all of your faculties and you don't have handicaps that you know of that are not keeping you back, and then look at the people who do have handicaps. Look at the singers who are blind, who are big stars like Stevie Wonder, like so many other.
Yes.
Look at these people that don't have some of their senses. Hawkins, that brilliant man who engineered to talk through his lungs, his vocal cords, and was the greatest scientist to this day. Stephen Hawkins, open your mind to know that, look, if you've got everything working for you physically, mentally, and spiritually, there is no reason that you should fail.
This is true. This is so true. And so, you got to keep going, right? Because it is a tough business and life isn't easy. And you just got to keep going regardless of the no's. That's one thing I learned in sales when
rejection is something else.
The no's are just going to come. It's automatic. And you're going to hear 1,000 of them. but it's that, and just like you were saying, even with your auditions and things, but it's that one or two yeses
Yeah,
that
yeah.
really make it worth it.
And those yeses have been big for me,
Mhm.
and I know that I stopped worrying about, am I going to get a job? Now I think about, what's the next job?
Yes,
You
yes,
know,
yes, yes. I
what's
love that.
next?
I love that.
If I
Yeah.
don't get this audition, I still say next.
Yes,
And if I get the audition, I say, what's next?
that's right.
So I
That's
have my different ways of describing next.
yeah.
Um, what's the song? Trouble don't always last. But when it comes, you just got to know how to accept it and fight it with dignity and to go on. And those are great words to hear. But we all know that when it hits you head on, face to face, it's in your backyard. It's not as easy to accept as saying, okay, I'm going to accept this and move on. It really takes a lot of strength and
It-
courage to do that, and
yes.
humility too.
Absolutely, absolutely. But it's who did I hear say that? If you get knocked down, as long as you land on your back, you can look up, and if you can look up, you can get up.
Well, that's a good one. And I've
And
learned one that says, it's not how you fall down, it's how you get up.
yes, yes, yes. And so resiliency is what I'm hearing. You just got to be resilient. You got to believe in yourself. You got to keep going, keep moving forward. I think that's why God gave us our legs and arms. It's all for movement and
Yeah.
forward movement.
Oh
Forward
yeah,
movement.
forward movement and in your mind too. And
Yes.
I've made up in my mind that my goal is to educate, inform, and inspire. And I
Hmm.
always tell people to plan your work and work your plan and stick to that too. And it's okay. You don't have to be just one thing now. You've got actors who are neurologists, who are doctors. You got senators who are doctors. So it's not like you have to do one thing and just stay that way. I
Yeah.
think you should go for whatever makes you have a success. Don't be, how they say, be the joker of all trades and the master of none. You
Hmm.
want to master your things as you go along.
There you go. And so those are
And,
some good nuggets there for what can help a person have staying power and continued success. And so we know, as I said, you kind of transitioned from radio and or did all of this at the same time to
oh yeah,
television.
simultaneously, technically simultaneously.
Yeah.
And I tell you, another thing that happened was at Shakespeare, we came home. We were like in the fourth or third grade, me and my little brother, and we lived right across the street, right there, 46 in Greenwood. And we came home and we caught my mom and dad making love. Okay. They immediately took us out of grammar school and put our butts in Catholic school
Okay.
around the corner at St. Ambrose. Yeah. So we would stay in school all day long with a lunch.
Oh goodness, oh goodness, oh
When
goodness.
they did that, not only did we stay in school all day, but when we came home, we had music classes, acting classes, tap dancing classes.
Got
Because
it.
right on the next corner was the Ellis Community Center.
Okay.
And then on that following corner was St. James. Then on 47th and Ellis was St. Ambrose.
Okay.
So we
Okay.
had educational things surrounding us. And
Okay.
even eventually, when my mom and dad separated and we moved into Robert Taylor on 45th and Federal, which was brand new,
Hmm.
we had the center. That's really where I got my inspiration to go into acting. That's where I met old Coral, Harold Johnson. Of course, he was Harold Johnson then, and Joan Brown. And my mentors were Oscar Brown Jr. and Phil Coran and
Okay.
Gene Pace. So to be and I didn't know, how popular these people were. I just knew that they were good mentors. So
Okay.
I've had good guidance, in that sense. But moving fast forward, I did a play called Change Gonna Come with ETA, which was the founding theater with Okoro Harold Johnson and Abena Joan Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And Red Fox came to our play because this was illustrating the death of Sam Cooke, the trial and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I played this character named Susan Drake. And after the play, which I was very good in, by the way, after the play, I asked Red Fox, I said, was I good? Because he was giving the cast compliments and he came on stage and told us how he gave Sam Cooke his bow. He taught him how to bow on stage.
Okay.
Okay, coming up during the day. So I said, oh, was I really that good? He said, I'm going to tell you. He says, yes. He says, you were good. He says, but you want to say, were you great? And I'm going to tell you why you were great. Because anybody born Black can act.
Oh. And
I said, I have got my calling.
Okay.
I have got my calling.
Okay.
I'm going to stick with this because, baby, there are plenty of people that I had to act like I liked and could not stand them. There are many auditions I went to knowing that I didn't get that job because I was Black.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So listen, so you've played a lot of roles in your day. One of the big roles that you landed was the role of Ethel Davis on the smash hit TV The Chi.
Yes.
This is recent, like right now.
Yes.
So how did that come to fruition?
Well, thank goodness it happened before the pandemic. I had 3 good years with the Chi, 3 good seasons, I should say. I had good seasons with the Chi as Ethel Davis. So now I'm known as Granny with the Shotgun. Because when in the first season, when I pulled that shotgun on the cop, when I went back to my trailer, my agent had called and said they want to book you for 5 more episodes. It was only supposed to be that 1 episode. And Ethel was supposed to die in that first episode, that first episode of that first season.
Okay.
But they liked the way I brought Ethel to life and gave her spirit. I auditioned for that. And I was called back 3 times.
Very
and
good.
The third time, my agent didn't tell me that the audition was going to be at CineSpace. First time I've ever been over there.
Okay.
Instead, I thought it was going to be where we had the auditions at the last time. Girl, when I knew it didn't happen, I had to run and make it from Kingsbury and Division to 16th, let's say, right off Western.
Okay.
In 5 minutes.
Okay. Oh, no.
Girl, when I got there, because they said they're not going to be there past 5 o'clock. So here it is, like 10 minutes to 5. Girl, I never drove so fast. And I'm mad because they gave me the wrong information or they weren't clear as to where the final audition was. Girl, when I got there, there were people lined up all throughout the hallway because they got long hallways and so forth because they have various production offices over there.
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, they were going to be there way past 5 o'clock because they were auditioning extras as well as main characters.
Okay.
When I got in there, came in there, I'm like, y'all, the police is coming after me because I don't know how many red lights I done ran to get here on time. And they started laughing. And I guess my character, now that I look back on how Ethel Davis was, a stern grandma who loved her grandson, who's trying to keep him on the straight and narrow. She's like most of these grandmas out here. Because when I met people, it's like, you're just like my grandma. You're just like my auntie.
Yes.
I love you. They want to hug me. I love that.
A relatable character.
So it's my voice that recognizable. I get a lot of that. And then it's my look. Because see, I'll forever look like Ethel.
Yeah. Let's talk about the hair. La Donna.
My Ethel. Girl, look here. This was the best job. All I had to do was wake up, wash my hair, give it a nice wash, go to the set, and the girl would do my hair more.
Did you ever fight the gray? Did you ever dye your hair?
Never.
Okay.
I dyed it. I did highlights once.
Okay.
And I did a rinse once, right? Always liked the gray hair. I never thought to change it. And now, once I started getting more work, my competitors in the business, I see them, they're not dyeing their hair anymore. But believe me, they still have the wigs and everything, but I've tried it. It did not work for me.
Well, La Donna, I think your hair is gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I think that, as we age, especially for women, we should embrace, the changes the physical changes that take.
Yes, I love my hair. I embrace it more now because if you notice, some of the young people want to dye their hair gray.
I did see, I think she was wearing a wig though. I did see a young girl once
with the younger people are doing
salt and pepper wig on. So that just goes to tell you how beautiful it is.
Thank you. I got a few salt and pepper wigs, but every time I try to do something, I just don't look right in it. I said I'm going to find someone to style something that, I don't know. But right now it's working for me.
That's right.
Everybody likes the natural. Yeah. And I do it quickly. Yes. But working the shy was probably my best ever. I just woke up, gave my hair a good washing, and went in and they did the rest. I didn't have to put on makeup or anything.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And so, the good news that you dropped recently is that you are going to be on TV again in a new role as Rose Martell for an ABC TV summer pilot series that's called, what's it called? Insight. Tell us about that.
Insight. Well, we call her Miss K, but she's it's Screen Magazine. For those of you that are interested, did a wonderful article on the writer and producer for Insight, and she's just wonderful, beautiful, and she's really an African American. She was born in Nigeria, I think, and she lives in LA, of course, and she wrote this wonderful series. And the episode that we're doing, the pilot, is called Ellen, which is a young lady that has come into my care. And I get to play the character Rose Martell. I should say Rose Martell. Okay, it's new, guys. It's new. I'm getting used to it. Rose Martell. And Rose is a serial, loving, caring foster mom.
Okay.
And I was going to say serial killer. I was going to say, ooh, that's going to be good.
All
People
right.
love a villain, but no, I get to play this wonderful character who takes in foster kids and get them on the straight. And my Ellen deals with her foster mom, which is me, in a way where this is the only mom that she knows.
Okay.
And she has come to me really in pain, nightmares. When she came to me, and we don't know what age yet,
Okay.
when you get a character, even though the writer may not give you all the information, you sort of create this backstory. And it helps you to either know this character better or because you don't know where this character is going. But of course, the first thing I said after the reading was, please don't kill Rose. I
Okay.
want to die in this way.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Uh, uh, I had to learn how to die in the shy. I don't want to be a spoiler alert, but for those of you that have kept up with the first seasons, when they first told me that Miss Ethel in the shy was going to pass away, of course I didn't take that nice. I'm like, oh God, y'all shortening up my residuals, damn it. I need this money.
Oh
But
goodness.
you can never let them see you sweat. So I listened and I gave, believe me, Miss Ethel did not go dying peacefully. I gave them all kind of scenarios.
Okay.
Well, what if the grandson won the lottery and took his grandma to Hawaii or something? Can't y'all give him a break? Why? But there are Black young men out there who just never get a break in life.
Yeah.
And my grandson was one of them in the shot. He could never get a break. Ronnie just never seemed to get it right after he couldn't get a job as a policeman and, flunked his test. And then he was that's another thing. I thought that they were going to explore him having PDS, how men come home with PDS, at post-war syndrome,
Oh yeah, the
Yeah,
post-traumatic
yeah,
stress
yeah,
disorder.
that's right. So I thought maybe they were going to go that route and I was going to be more of a nourishing grand, but they didn't. So what made me feel good when they told me that Miss Ethel was going to pass away in this series, they said, think of it this way. Miss Ethel is the only character that does not get whacked.
Okay. All right. So she died of natural causes.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the way she passes away, I had several people to come up to me and said, that's the way my grandmother died. She just laid down and took a nap and was gone.
Okay.
So obviously, Marilyn, I didn't did a spoiler alert because you didn't see it all.
I did not yet.
Well, I want to tell everybody that you can go to Showtime and say, what premium do you have that's free this month? And they'll say, oh, we may have Showtime for 2 months free. So you get it for 2 months free and you can watch the show. And you can go back to on demand with Showtime and binge watch season 1 through 5.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was going to tease that season 5 debuts this Friday
yeah.
online and on demand, and then again on Sunday on the regular TV.
So what I do is, because I'm like everybody else, cable is just too damn high. I can't afford it. I just got basic and I'm paying. It's two things that I hate that's happening. That we have to buy bottled water and we have to pay for TV. It's just not fair. But if you can, like I said, I will be calling up because I didn't see the last 2 episodes of season 4. So I want to see how Jada plays that role because, they gave her breast cancer. So I want to see how that winds up, the way that came about. So it's still a good scene to watch. And another thing that gave me encouragement, there is this actor, and he plays, you're hip to Pete Davidson, right? Saturday
Yes,
Night Live.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
The guy that plays his father in the movie that he does, this character gets whacked all the time. You see him in gangster movies. As a matter of fact, if you didn't know he was Pete Davidson's father, actor father, you would think that was his real dad because they both look scary. Okay.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay,
They
okay,
both
okay.
have that scary look.
Mm-hmm.
But this character always dies. So when I saw him in an interview with a movie that he had done, and he told somebody asked him, how does it feel that your character that always gets blown up, shot up, whatever? He says, you know what? He has done so many movies.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I can't wait to die. He says when he gets a movie, he can't wait to die.
Because he go on to a new one.
And another,
Okay, okay, okay,
he
okay.
can't wait for his character to get whacked.
Oh
It's
my
like
goodness.
he can't wait to die. So I said, now that's a good way of.
Of
I said,
looking
yeah,
at
but
it.
he's done about 50, 75 or 80 movies.
Oh my goodness. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
those good gangsters movie with Martin Scorsese,
okay.
Tarantino.
I don't know why
He,
I can't picture who that is right now. For some
oh,
reason, I'm
I can't
drawing a
remember
blank.
his
I'm
name.
drawing a blank. Yeah.
But if you see him in these gangster movies, you'll say, oh, yeah, he's real good.
Okay.
He's sort of like that Peter Lorre effect.
Gotcha.
Peter Lorre was that kind of spooky character. And
Uh-huh.
he's either getting whacked or he was like, just funny, just funny. But
Yes.
yeah, so that's a good hint. So
So let's get
insight.
back. Let's get back to the ABC thing.
Oh yeah,
The
insight.
Rose Martell character,
Character,
and
yeah.
you told us about it. So that when is that going to happen? When is
I
the
don't know.
okay?
Listen, we had such an intense day of working.
Uh-huh.
I forgot to ask, and I was so happy to work. Okay, because this is the second film job that I've done since the pandemic. My movie that I did last year, filming in August, we did a Christmas movie called A Christmas Witness.
Mm.
And we did that film in summertime, which was the winter movie because it's Christmas in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't look like Christmas in LA, that's for sure.
Right.
And the cicadas kept making love all night long. So I'm
Oh.
like, how they gonna get the sound out of the cicadas making love? And we doing Christmas trees and
Yes.
snow and all that special effects that goes with it. Well, they did it. They did it. And I had to go in for what you call ADR, that's additional digital recording
Mm-hmm.
at CineSpace over at Periscope to actually do all of those lines over for the Christmas Witness movie, which, by the way, was called Hitman Holiday. And they changed that name within the final 2 weeks of that movie. Coming on Ion TV,
Okay.
that's channel 38 in my neighborhood. But Ion TV is that movie station that shows a lot of movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you go on Ion TV on demand,
Okay.
you can see A Christmas Witness. But getting back to Insight, I was so happy to work. And the day was so intense. And it was so many things to think about because we had to test every other day with COVID
Oh my goodness. Yes.
and get safe for working. So this is so stressful in the sense that not only do you have to learn your lines, now you got to worry about if you're COVID ready.
Got it.
Because if you test positive, they send you home and they call the next actor.
Got it.
That's how easy it is to just lose a role if you're not Viola Davis, Betty Davis.
Gotcha.
You
Gotcha.
get that? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Spencer, if you're not somebody who is a big star, they're not going to wait on you. You will be replaced. If you're La Donna Tittle, just up and coming, believe me, there are so many great actors that are waiting in the wings
Okay.
that they can replace you with right now because that's the business.
Understood. Understood.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, the girl that I'm playing opposite, who is the main character in this one, man, her resume reads like the Bible. I mean, she's done This Is Us, but I never heard of her. You know, when I heard her name, you know, I can't remember where I've even seen her and stuff, but she's up there.
She's been
She's the,
working.
still working. She's the main character. But now this is the difference. And people have to recognize this. It's nothing racist right now. Everything is racist. But anyway, the positive thing is if she got COVID, they would shut down the production for a couple of days until, or you know, until, or they'll be filming another part
Got
until
it.
she's ready.
Got it.
But they ain't gonna wait on little old us. Our little parts that come through are, you know, you hope that it's raining so you can get 2 days work out of it or 3 days work. That's the reality of it.
Okay.
Just being real. And I get questions like this all the time, but like I said, you could be an actor who's come prepared to work and they tell you you'll be working Monday. Please do not go and, you know, be in a crowd. In other words, don't go to any parties. And so you do this on your own, and and it's to your own benefit if you want to work.
Yes.
If you know you ain't out there hanging out with a bunch of people, going to the parties, and you know that's hard to resist when you get a holiday. People inviting you to the cookout,
That's
the
right.
family reunion,
That's right.
and you've got to say, no, I can't go. I couldn't go to my niece's luncheon with her high school graduation, you know, because my shoot was Monday and the luncheon was that Saturday before. I knew you're gonna have her friends there.
That's right.
My family's gonna be there. Why do I want to go and put myself? And then I show up Monday and got COVID.
Okay. Yep. I hear you. I hear you.
So that's the ugly side of it. The nice side of it is that I got the job and they told me it's going to be a recurring roles. And
Very good.
girl, at the end of our day, when I shot my scene, the writer comes to me and says, "Don't worry, Rose will not die."
Okay.
I was happy to hear that. That was so sweet, but who knows?
Very good.
Who
Well,
knows?
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it and to see you. I'm definitely going to go to on demand and
Catch
catch
up
up
with the
catch up
shot.
with the Shy as well as
And
the
call up and you can get your
Ion
lunch
TV.
free.
Yeah, Ion TV, a Christmas witness to
Yes, a Christmas witness. And I get to play a rich woman. Her name is Gladys Harrington, and
very
she is a widower. And girl, the house that I got to do this fantastic work in, they could have put me in the closet and I would have been happy sleeping in their closet. That's how bad this house was. It was
Now, were
beautiful.
you local or was it in LA?
No, we shot it in Naperville.
Oh, in Naperville. Okay.
Yeah, where the big homes are.
Yes.
And I mean, this home was, I mean, laid out. the backyard, everything. I'm telling you, it was just beautiful.
Okay.
But yeah, when they come to my home, I won't even forget the address. It's in a historic neighborhood, but it's a house. It's just so beautiful.
Yes.
So that was wonderful. That was a great experience.
Yeah.
That's the great experience is you get to shoot on different sets. And then I get to embrace a character. This character, Rose Martell, in Insight, is different than most characters I get to play.
Because she's wealthy. And
This character, Gladys Harrington, she's wealthy. That's another character. That's with A Christmas Witness. But this character in Insight really will show my range of how necessarily we don't have to be angry all the time. You know, in playing characters like Ethel Davis in The Shy, that was so easy. It wasn't a stretch for me to play that kind of character because you're either reading a story about somebody getting shot, a little Black kid getting shot, somebody mishandling a gun, or that neighborhood hero that pays attention, that nosy neighbor that pays attention to everything that goes on and just wants her neighborhood to be safe.
yes.
You know, I get to do a little bit more than that, and I think it's so good because it deals with a couple of issues that really are going on in our society today: mental health and care of these young Black kids.
Got it. Got it. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm excited
Is that a nice teaser for Insight?
Yeah, that you're still working, and for no other reason, just the plot alone. What you described, the role that you're playing, and all of those layers of issues that are so important. Right now, today,
right.
that are very real issues that will be dealt with. I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait to see what more they have for Rose Martell.
Okay. Yeah.
But they feel so good now. As far as when it's going to play because first they give you the pilot, and then you'll see what kind of schedule it has if it latches on.
Gotcha.
Most people that I talked to on this set was like, "Oh, this is gonna fly. Oh, this
Okay.
is going on." I'm like, okay. And I'm gonna tell you something. For every actor that does a pilot, you never know where it's going. Look at This Is Us. Simple
Right.
title.
Right.
Golly, it's what, in its 7th season or something like that.
It was huge. It became huge.
And I never got into This Is Us, but I see the way it's taken on Emmys and a personal thing. And then you see the characters. So, you got this diversity. You got big people, little people, Black people, white people,
Yes.
Hispanic people, brown, Black. They've got a diverse set of people.
Absolutely.
And now we're demanding that diversity not only comes in front of the camera, but behind the camera. I never dreamed the fact that I would be doing this cooking show for 20 years. But I'm like, I'm not going to fire myself.
Right.
And I will keep doing it until I get tired.
Yes.
And every time I even think about, oh, well, that's enough, I'm going to not do it anymore, I think of another reason. Well, you do have a platform, you do have a following.
Yes.
So there you go.
And you enjoy what you're doing.
I do. I do.
And cooking with Tittle, bon appetit. Let's eat. airs every Thursday at 7 p.m. and Fridays at 2 p.m. on Can TV. That's channel 19 in the Chicagoland area. And it's streaming too
Yeah, girl, it's streaming. We done got big time.
now? Okay.
Now you can actually dial me up besides the YouTube,
Yeah.
or Facebook. And I put some shows on YouTube and some shows on Facebook, but now I've got my premiere shows that I would like to sell. So I have my new website, which is ladonnatittle.com.
Well, that's where you can put your merch.
That's where my merch is going.
There you go. There you go. And
Yes.
so on top of all of that, you've highlighted that it's been 20 years. And so Can TV will be spotlighting you on
Yeah.
this Friday, June 24th at 7:30 p.m. for all that you have accomplished, your lifetime of accomplishments, La Donna, and of course, your cooking show. How does that feel? I know you're
feels
kind of
wonderful.
getting used to. I'm sure you're used to getting your accolades and your awards and all of that. But
No, you
here,
never. No.
no, you're not
Never
used
get
to it.
used to it.
Okay, okay,
You want more and more.
okay.
You never get used to it. Come on.
Uh-huh,
Do you
uh-huh.
get tired of people saying we love you, Marilyn, today?
No, not at all. Not at
Not
all.
at all.
Yes.
No, you don't get used to it. And you should never get used to it, because I think it just keeps me healthy. It keeps me humble. It
Mhm.
keeps me wanting to share my career now too. I love going to various high schools and talking to kids, and somebody comes up to you and says, I want to be a chef. I want to cook. I mean, to see that light go off, or I want to be an artist, or I want to be a teacher.
Yes,
We had career days in high school.
I remember those.
People that came to your school and
Mhm.
spoke to you about being whatever. And that's how you got enlightened. I mean, I had this desire to be a secretary. Oh my God. I thought that was the bee's knees, to wear a hat like a Jacqueline Kennedy,
Uh-huh.
to smoke a cigarette and wear glasses and do the news and I thought that was it. Of course, I'm so glad I got rid of the smoking of cigarettes so I could lead a healthy life. And now, with the cooking show, I'm going to be focused. Well, I've been focusing on immune boosters to help us with our eating to avoid getting COVID-19
Very
and
nice.
cancer and all the other things that, if you weren't born with it, let's eat healthy enough so that we won't get it.
Very
So
nice.
I'm focusing more, being that I'm past 46.
Okay.
I can't stand to say that. But they say from 45 on up, we should be watching our sugar. We have sugar in everything. So, you just have to balance what you eat when you get to be 150 years old.
Well, that's good that you've taken that nutritional spin with your
Yeah.
cooking and everything. But what is one of your favorite? What is one of your favorite dishes that?
Oh my God, if I tell you, they're going to kill me. But you know what? I have slacked back so much, but I love me some chitlins.
Oh, that's right. That's
Chitlins
right.
and hog mogs. I'm going to tell you.
That's right. I remember that. Yes.
When I decided to do the cooking portion of my show, because when I started doing like a magazine show with people in the entertainment and people that was in the industry. And I said, you know what? I wasn't getting no calls, like feedback. And so I said, well, I know how to cook. Girl, when I first did the chitlins and the greens, oh my God, my phone is not stop ringing.
Okay.
Now, of course, you're going to get some negativities. This one person, when I first put my chitlins on By the way, when I first put them up, do you know I got over 5,000 viewers within a week?
Okay.
I mean, people were responding. I started getting phone calls. I'm glad you showed them the right way to cook. Um, they never really had any cooking shows on Channel 19 before I came on. They'd have political forums and,
Right.
community shows, and they have variety shows with people that want to sing and dance. They had a few rap shows. But now that I brought this element of food in, they're getting shows from all over because you can run your show, via another city. You can put it on other TVs.
Okay. Okay.
So now that we're streaming, I don't have to worry about that part anymore.
Yes.
I don't have to sweat no more on that issue. Oh, you can only see it in Chicago because you could only see it in Chicago.
I remember that.
You could only see it in Chicago metropolitan area. You couldn't
Yeah.
see it anywhere else. But now, and so the spotlight, another first. They want to spotlight our producers because now we can stream. So CAN TV has been just like other television stations. You improve as you go along.
That's
You
right.
improve as you go along.
And that's wonderful because, like you said, you have family members, you have friends who live in other places and spaces and who want to show you support. But, other than the YouTube videos that you upload or
Right.
Facebook, there's no way for them to really catch you. And now they can, now that they're
Right.
streaming. So that's awesome. That's very
And
good.
you will be one of the next shows to
All right.
feature the Tittle swag.
Oh, okay. That's right. That's right. I thought you were going to say to be on CAN TV.
Oh,
But
yeah. Well, you know what? If you send me your interview with me, that's how I can put you on.
fantastic.
So besides the books I'm working on, I'm also working on my own one-woman show.
Oh,
And it's going to be called Tittle's Stand Up, Sit Your Ass Down comedy show.
okay. Okay.
That's going to be the name of it. I think that's the working title right now.
So you're gonna do you're gonna do venues, or is this gonna be
Yes.
all online?
No, we're going to do venues.
Okay.
And one of the people that has really kind of been an inspiration is George Wallace, the comedian George Wallace.
Right. Okay.
He is one of those people that I love about him because he's self-promoting. He
Okay.
really is. And he's a business person and he's an uplifter. So I told him this years ago when he was here at the Laugh Factory up north. I said, that's what I wanted to do. So I've got a few pieces that I've written on, and I opened up a comedy show with the comedy club. You remember the comedy club that was on Wabash, South Wabash?
Yes.
No.
Yes. Yes.
The brothers that opened that up.
Yes.
Well, I did my first stand-up there for 5 minutes. And I found that I could do 5 minutes pretty good.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is my first stand-up. And I think my theme was about what the 60s was, because I did a little wig changing and we were going from the froze to the small hair. And so I did something along that line. But yeah, I've always wanted, and that's my next treat.
Well, I have to say, you caught me off guard with that one.
I told you
I
we were
didn't-
going to have a good show.
I didn't expect that, but it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
Well, I got to do it now because I told the girl that wrote Insight. She's like, I'm going to get a ticket. I says, girl, don't you worry. Your ticket will be at the door. I will bring you a ticket. I'm so
There
glad
you
to
go.
work with you.
There you go. There you
See,
go.
I've never been told on an audition you got the job. Usually it's a protocol of they'll call your agent, tell your agency you got the job. But
Okay.
she was so excited with our meet and greet. And she says, "Oh no, you got the energy for it. I love you. You're going to be Rose. You're going to be Rose. You're going to be Rose." I'm like,
That's awesome.
"You got to promise me if I do Rose good, you won't
That,
kill
that, that
Rose.
they won't kill her.
Rose can't die."
Right.
Girl, I did a good job that day because I
You went
can't
to
remember. She
Nigeria.
remembered. She remembered me making them laugh like that. She said,
Okay.
"Don't you worry. Rose is not going to die." I'm like,
Okay.
"Thank you. You sure?"
Oh,
Oh,
that is hilarious.
oh, girl, I
That's
tell
funny.
you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, we could talk. We have been talking for hours. I was gonna say we could go on for hours,
Well,
LaDonna,
I tell you
and
one
we
thing.
have been.
When I know what the schedule is going to be, because once you do a job, they don't tell you shit after that. Okay. It's
Okay.
like, do the job, go home, goodbye.
Okay.
In fact, they say, let's give Donna Tittle a round of applause. She did a great job today. And you sit there going, it's something I forgot to ask. And yes, like, when's it going to show? What time? Well, we know it's ABC, and we know this is pilot season, the summertime,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That's when we don't know this, but let me just enlighten your audience. You'll see all new shows that you may see with a fall schedule. You will see them over the summer.
Yes.
June, July, August, July and August, big pilot time. All the pilots are being shot now. They're coming into Chicago. Chicago made millions of dollars since they have been doing, they call us now, they're calling us Hollywood. And at
Yeah.
one time, Chicago was Hollywood.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It was
We
the
have that history. Yeah.
yeah.
The entertainment industry. Um,
And it's coming back. It's coming
okay.
back big time. We've got more series, more things being shot. What I don't care about it is that they come here for the atmosphere and they give us these little, maybe 2 lines, 3 lines. That's not enough. We
Okay.
we want to be cast as regulars in some of these Hollywood series. So
Okay.
that's a big thing too.
Got it. Well, I did, I was an extra, how many weeks? Maybe 2 weeks, in the Empire. When the Empire was, filming in Chicago, they came
Okay.
out into the suburbs to use one of the theaters for a scene that they were doing for like some kind of awards
Oh yeah,
ceremony
yeah,
where
yeah.
the
You were in
young
the
man
nightclub.
got shot.
Yeah,
Remember that scene? They did that
yeah.
scene, and because I was local, I reached out, and actually I was reaching out to report on it because I had my radio show, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go try to interview, Taraji and some of these people, and they were like, hey, you want to be an extra? So,
Wonderful.
so you're right though, because after everything was over, it was like, well, it's going to be episode. They did tell us the episode, but beyond that, they didn't tell us anything. And so I was like, well, am I going to make it to the scene? And they were like, nobody knows,
That's right. Right.
nobody knows. And so I watched the episode in which I was a part of it, and I'm not in the union, so I guess there's rules about who gets FaceTime and who gets work, who
Well,
reads
no,
lines.
when you're an extra, yes, there are. If you get lines and you get repeated lines, then they make you join the union after a
Hmm.
SAG.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're just an extra and you may get a look or two, you will get upgraded with lines. You'll get
Uh-huh.
more than a hot dog and a Coke for the day. You know,
But
but
I
go
was
ahead.
so enlightened on what it's like,
Extra
La Donna, because we were there all
day.
day and to the night.
Oh, they work
But
their
I
ass
made
off.
some pretty good pocket change though, you know?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, to do an extra's job now is so much more money than there was back in the day.
Okay.
Back in the day when I started, extra was like a $50 for the whole day, and they work your ass from sun up to sundown like a Hebrew slave.
Mhm.
Hours that you put in, but what it did for me was, I'm like, damn, being an extra is hard. I got to go into acting at classes and learn how
Okay.
to read lines and do lines. That's what makes you go from extra to now reading lines. And once you get your first job, where you got a line or two, you
Yeah.
will be hungry because you've just increased your pay. It's like when I became union equity stage theater. I was working at Goodman. I was an understudy. I was making 175 a week. When I became actors equity union, and you have to be invited to do a role, this equity,
Okay.
I went from 175 to $750 a week.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So that's the difference of, do you really want this? And then you have to deal with the fact that we got actors that are damn good in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
They will sleep in their cars to wait for an audition.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do out in LA. I can't do that. I want my shower. I
Uh-huh.
want to have my clothes. I want to have a roof over my head.
Yes, yes.
And I've never been one who says, "Oh, I got to make it so I can buy a mansion." No, I want to do this because it's just so satisfying. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it was fun. But when you got home that night and thought about how many times you had to do that one scene, that will
Yeah.
make you want to be. And you've got the perfect look for it, Marilyn. I'm telling
Mhm.
you, if you wanted to pursue being an actor, and sometimes you can be as lucky as I'll tell you whose story, because I love reading autobiographies, because I want to know, did they work as hard? Did they struggle as hard? And most of the time, they've struggled harder.
Yes.
They struggled harder than what I've done.
Yes.
But this business is, you don't have to cut nobody's throat. You know, I feel that what's mine, I'm going to get,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I appreciate my competition because that's how I learned how to be better,
Yes.
or be that black actor that I know I can be.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
That who had to act all her life with
Okay.
people that I could not stand just to
Mm.
get my paycheck. And I've had some pretty damn good jobs, legal
But
secretary, you know.
but you weren't just naturally not disliking people. You were probably projecting that energy that was being given you, working with people who
Oh
didn't
yeah,
like you.
yeah,
And so of course, you're gonna project that back.
yeah. Well, one of my best times was when I was in kindergarten. And
Hmm.
you got that check mark that says work well with others. That
Yes.
was my highest mark.
Yes. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, Nap time. They say take a nap. I take a nap. Now I enjoy taking a nap.
Yes.
Little do we know some of the things that we learn as kids. You just have to reflect on how that made you feel. And if it was a feel good moment, I say, think about that every time you wake up and you're able to wake up in your right mind,
Hmm.
enjoy your day, praise God that you're here, that you're breathing right, that you're walking right, that you're talking right. And I think you'll be all right.
Yes.
I got to
Yes.
remember to write that down.
That was a good one. That was a good one. We got it on tape. So
Good. These moments, I can't wait till you send me a copy, because
yeah.
I can load this into my PC, and I can do excerpts from when you put it together.
Okay.
But
Very good.
if you need me to send you a picture or something, I can do that through because I got the phone that you called, the number you called on here. I can send you stuff through that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then I got your email, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So now I got you. So yeah, I can send you whatever picture you need.
Yeah, I'm gonna put together a graphic so that we can so that it'll be the thumbtack for the YouTube video when I get it posted.
Yeah, well, that's good. Look at you. You're editing.
I don't like editing though, but you had to, just like in radio, we had to learn how to splice that tape
Well,
and
you look like your setup is good. Nothing is bumping around. You got it going on.
yeah, I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Me too.
Radio is just that audio. We don't worry about cameras and all of that. So this has been a learning experience with the YouTube.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, learning how to do it, learning how to post it, learning how to get your message out, and all of that is so fun. So fun.
Yeah.
I
And then
love
and
everything.
some parts when it's just, when you're a one man band, as you said, like back in radio, the more you knew how to do, the more valuable you were to
The industry.
the
Yeah,
industry.
if
So
you knew how to edit, put your own commercial together. I mean, my job when I went from WBE to WBMX, I had to know how to put a commercial together, which means I had to splice the tape. Remember those days? Put the tape together. Now it's just hitting a few buttons and
isn't that
knowing how to.
something? Isn't that
Yeah.
something? Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, my job depended on that. They didn't care that my voice made it. You didn't have anybody to sit the board for you.
You had to do it all.
Yeah, you had to do it all.
I
Now.
remember you telling me that when I was interning with you, you were like, you got to learn it all.
Yeah.
And I did.
You have to be a triple threat, nowadays. Look at you. I mean, I couldn't do what you. I know how to use a computer, but I don't want to edit at home because it gets me up and out. I'm too distracted at home.
Oh, okay.
And I have other things to do. I'm on the board. I'm on the condo board. Then we got to crap with people. There's so many interruptions.
Other interruptions and yeah. I just kind of tune everything out, shut everything down, and I just say I gotta do it. You don't like this editing, but you gotta do it. So get it done. And that's
you
what
enjoy what you do. I'm like, look at Marilyn's cafe. She's still doing her thing. I'm like, okay, I am if we're gonna do an interview, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna take this week off to get some things done. Then I go back and get this other show in. Then I gotta hand in my shows and program myself so I can kind of take some time off for July and August because it's too hot to do a lot of stuff. But now that I had to pivot with this 2 years of pandemic, I learned a lot of stuff, how to keep my show going through pictures, through editing. Editing is the key. Make it look good. It's time consuming. I'm trying to sit up straight now while I edit so that when I get up, I won't be walking with my I'm trying to get a good napopath again so I can keep walking straight. There's a lot of things,
Absolutely, and do the things that you enjoy to do.
And that's the truth. I another thing to do And this guy brought this to my attention. We're going to try to do maybe a Cooking with Tittle on the lakefront cruise in Chicago. Like have one of those
Okay.
boat things, where you
Yes.
eat, have drinks, and party for about 3 or 4 hours, like
Oh,
the spirit of Chicago.
that's right. That's right. Oh,
Yeah.
that would be something.
So I'll be calling on you like, Marilyn. Okay, be one of our sponsors or something, or
Yes.
put the word out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we're working on those things, and I think those things of what we do every day to make a real living, because now I'm totally a professional actress and producer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I'm going to be. This is, I, people say, oh, you should get back on radio. Yeah, if it's Sirius FM for maybe a nice salary of $1 million a year. Yeah, I'll get back on radio.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
looking at that. I'm looking at the bigger picture here.
Yeah. Yeah. And before we wrap up, speaking of radio, like for the last 10 years or so, I've been hearing um, talk like radio is a dinosaur, radio is um, um, going to go away. Do you think radio, traditional radio, is going to um,
Disappear?
disappear?
Absolutely not. If you look at things, everything goes in a cycle. I was surprised when talk radio started getting popular, weren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because most radio was music oriented, it was music driven. And then I remember Wally Phillips on WGN radio. I'm like, this guy's got the biggest ratings in radio ever. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't the
Music.
BMXs, the WBEs, the Larry Lou Jacks, the WLSs. It was WGN.
Talk radio.
Talk radio, this man. And I listened to him a couple of times and I thought it was the most boy. People call him, hey, Wally, how do I get to O'Hare from 55th Street and Lake Park? He was giving directions on how to drive to O'Hare. I'm like, hello. But you know what? He had compassion. He would talk about things that were in the daily news, and he was intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I found to be compelling. And all of a sudden, everybody was going talk radio.
Yeah.
Music radio was dwindling. And we didn't have that many stations anyway. What was it? VON, WVON, and WVON. And then another station that came out of, oh God, what was that? WL something that was playing soul music. So we didn't have that many outlets for our Black radio stations. And don't speak of talk radio. That was just being born, Black. Now we've got Black news radios. So I don't ever see radio going outdated. And I hate to say it, when they say TV is going to go away, I don't see it going away. And I'm sure I'm one of those old dinosaurs, who say, okay, but look where we are. When they told me pretty soon you're going to be watching TV on your computer or your laptop, I'm like, oh, hell no, I ain't. I mean, I want to lay in the bed and look at my TV. I don't want to be. But now you can infuse your cell phone into your TV
Isn't that something?
and watch everything.
Isn't that something?
But you got to charge this sucker up.
Yeah.
They're talking about electric cars. You know what think about electric is going up now. It's up, electricity.
This is true.
You think about your car's got to run on electricity and not gas, we're in a world of trouble.
Yeah,
I do not see radio going out in our lifetime, Marilyn. in
Yeah.
our lifetime. I don't see radio disappearing in our lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to imagine life without it, and I can't. I just, it's hard to do that. Although they are making the cars now, with the Sirius FM, the Sirius radio
Oh yeah, and guess
as
what?
an option.
They give it to you free for 1 year, and then they start charging you $250 a
Oh,
year to have
yeah,
radio. So
yeah.
now you're paying for radio. No, now you're paying for TV, bottled water, and now cable radio. That's a sin. It
Mm.
should be.
Yeah,
It
it
should be
is.
outlawed. It should be outlawed. In other words, that little transistor radio, you can forget it. But they tell you to keep a little transistor radio with batteries
With batteries in
in
case
case
of an
in
emergency.
case Putin want to drop one of them nuclear bombs over
Oh,
there. Yeah, there
yeah,
you
we
go.
do. We do have to hold on to some of our, traditional, or what some people call terrestrial,
Oh, I'm not.
terrestrial gadgets.
I know. Oh, you're a dinosaur. Yeah. Marilyn, when I went on Fox 32 with political editor Mike Flannery, we had a little panel. He and I was on this panel talking about promises made and promises not made, celebrating 50 years of Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And one of the things that I pointed out is if you go past Roosevelt and drive up Lakeshore Drive, the beautification of that whole area is uplifting. If you drive from Roosevelt Road on Lakeshore Drive to 71st Street, you don't see that. All of this is a difference, and a difference in feeling in self-esteem in your neighborhood.
True.
And to me, I don't think in my lifetime I will see the end of racism or disparity, or we may see somewhat equal pay for equal work with women, but that's going to move slow too. But this is what I'm telling you. Don't be depressed about it, because you ain't got time to be depressed about it. You want to live this good life. And like you say, live, laugh, love, and be happy while you can. And be satisfied, not be satisfied, but be appreciative of what you've accomplished.
That's right.
We want to stay positive, and that's why I don't mind being inspirational, being informative, and being educational, because these were people in my life that I did this with.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
helped me.
you came up in a really good time in the civil rights fight, because there seemed to be a better camaraderie with people. People seem to our people seem to want to work together. And then it seemed like we went through this thing where there was a lack of togetherness.
Yeah.
And
the me generation, the X generation, and now we're going through this cancel generation. Come on. I mean, every 20 years, my mother used to say this, every 20 years, fashion comes back.
Yes.
And I sort of look at what's happening with the kids with the color hair. And, I've always been a hippie. I'll be a hippie forever, because we were fighting then. We wanted to be something. Yes, there was the gangs and so forth, but at the same time, there were Black people, Black kids that wanted to be something. We had Malcolm X, we had Martin Luther King, we had John Kennedy. We didn't, but yet still we weren't learning Black history in school.
Yes.
I had to go outside of Chicago State University and go up here to Northwestern's library to read and get Black history books.
And
And I shouldn't have had to do that,
right.
To know about Black history.
Right.
So,
right.
To this past weekend, I was like a sponge watching all the TV shows now, PBS, with Juneteenth, 1865. What happened when, I visited Texas and went that route of the missions that people that were indigenous slaves that weren't of the Black American culture, but they were mixed, we were all mutts, so that's a struggle, right then and there. And then to hear about the Emancipation Proclamation back in 1865 on June 19th, where the slaves didn't know they was free for 2 years.
I know.
I know. How do they do? Now we know information with the prick of our fingernails.
This is right.
Dot, dot, dot on the phone, you got it. So those kind of improvements, yes. But I tell you, race relations and just people, and when you look at the earth, how unique it is. I do not believe in aliens. We do not have an alien out there. We are the most unique planet in the solar system. And they talk about climate change, but are you hip to this meteorologist, Dr. Tyson?
Yes.
The Black guy.
Degrassi.
Degrassi. That's the name, Degrassi. Degrassi. Why did I call him Tyson? Anyway.
I think that's his first name.
Yeah, something like that. But Degrassi, I love him. I hope they put that show back on. Because he says, I know how the planet's going to end. And it makes sense. Most of the planets that end is the sun that dries up everything. He says, and the sun is going to pull the earth apart and it's going to explode and become something else. He said, that's how the earth is going to end. And if you look at how the water is evaporating, because we are the blue planet, we're basically all water. But we have learned how to harness that water, how to engineer that water that comes from the rain, by the way. It comes from the rain. All of that comes from water falling from the sky. I love Discovery. I watch a lot of it.
His name is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I knew it was a Tyson.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
That's him.
Thank you, memory.
I had to Google. You got the Tyson part. I got Degrassi. We just forgot his first name.
But that's how he says. He says in all the planets that have exploded or stars, it's because the sun has evaporated that water from that planet. And that's why you find a lot of planets that are going to explode. He said, but what keeps us so unique is this gravity, this gravitational thing that we have around this earth. Now I'm going to tell you something. That's the biological and the factual. But you got to say it must be a God. Woo! It's got to be a God. Because we getting these asteroids that come by us and don't hit us, and there are millions. Right. And now we got rockets that can shoot up and bust one of them and make them go in a different direction.
That's right.
But at the same time, we're down here in this little ball trying to kill each other.
Isn't that crazy?
So like, why can't we all just get along?
What? You know what, La Donna, I'm over here about to shout because listen, my wrap up for the show, for our talk, I call it One Last Thing, was this. Listen to this.
Oh, wow.
According to a new Gallup poll, a record low 81% of Americans believe in God. Just 5 years ago in 2017, 87% of Americans believed in God. And between 1944 and 2011, more than 9 in 10 Americans believed in God.
Yeah.
What has happened? What has caused this decrease in the numbers? And here you go, bringing up God and how He formed Earth. And isn't
Yeah.
that something?
It's like, okay, okay, where did all of this really start?
Oh
So
my
you can
goodness.
believe in the scientific, or you can believe in the biblical. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that they have a place in our hearts and in our minds, because this thing that we're going to, it's like animalistic, like survival of the fittest. And
Mm-hmm.
that's scary. And
Mm-hmm.
if we don't come together, and I don't know if it'll ever happen in our lifetime, Marilyn, but I just appreciate good deeds, and I love giving good deeds. I
Mm-hmm.
love I love practicing that spiritual being that I feel that I am, because I feel that yes, I was made in this image. And this image says it's a godly like image. Do you know we possess every chemical, every atom, every compound that makes up this earth? Do you know we possess all of that in our bodies?
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
And
Girl,
you
you know
just said
we can go into self-combustion. That's how you can set your body on fire.
all this
You get
energy we
mad,
have, all this energy, and you just said that the
all this
earth
energy.
is mostly water, and so is our
Right.
body.
You can brush up against somebody and get electric.
Mhm.
We are so a part of the atoms, the synapses, the neutrons, and
Everything
everything. So how can you not believe
that there's a bigger, something
there's a
bigger,
bigger
better.
being, a supreme being?
Oh my gosh.
And that it is not being a holy roller or whatever, because I believe in God, because I'm too afraid not to.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that's one of my lines in my stand-up sit your ass down comedy show.
Okay.
Yes, I believe in that. There's certain things that have happened to me, and I look back on them, I'm like, you've been surrounded by just good energy in your life. You've got to give this energy back. You've got to feel good about where you are.
Mhm.
Um, if people want to know about you, yeah, they can read up on Wikipedia. They got another one that gives you the discography of all my film work called IMBD or
Oh
IMD.
yes. 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 Yes.
Okay, so you got that to
Yes.
also, speak on or print on, or how you do your show together. But I just feel so grateful. No, I'm not a big star. I may never be a big star, but damn it, I'm making a living doing what I'm doing as an actor.
Yes.
And I learned
Yes.
to save my money too and invest
There you
in
go.
little mutual stocks that don't hurt. And believe me, I'm so glad that I didn't spend all my money. I have one disease, and that's being a shopaholic.
Okay.
And
And
I have another one, and I'll leave you with. People ask, well, how do you give up certain things that you like to do, smoke cigarettes or whatever? I said, well, I would learn to eat right. I said, well, I found I was gaining too much weight, so I stopped eating. I found, I used to say, this is how I put it. Uh, what made me smoke a cigarette was after having sex, I would want to smoke a cigarette. So I stopped eating and I stopped having sex, and that's how I gave up cigarettes.
oh,
That's my little joke.
okay.
I should have told it another way. I messed up.
Oh my
I'll
goodness.
have it right by the time I go on stage.
There you go.
But
There you go.
yeah, that's how I gave up some bad habits, eating too much and smoking cigarettes. So I stopped having sex. So that stopped me from smoking cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped eating bad foods. That made me keep my weight down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'll have it in a funnier way.
Because some smokers like to smoke after they eat too, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
eating and sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I put the two of them together. I said, that is how you stop smoking cigarettes.
And look, that's a
Well,
drastic way
I'm
to
still
do
having sex. Wait a minute. I'm still having sex. But wait a minute. I'm still having sex, but I really cut down on my food intake
it.
because I didn't want to be a diabetic. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
get
that's
it.
right. I think I'll put it that way. That's pretty funny.
Okay.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
we're working it out here on Maryland's Cafe Society.
Thank God for editing.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, La Donna Tittle, in the middle, this has really been a great time spending with
Yes.
you. I'm glad we got to catch up. It's been, as we were talking earlier, it's been at least 10, 12 years since we've seen each other.
Is that
And
right? I didn't want the time to go by so fast since
yeah.
you're doing your thing and here I am and things are happening that I can say are happening, the spotlight, the new ABC pilot, and the
Mhm.
fact that I'm writing and trying to be so dedicated. And I tell you, writing is the labor of love. Writing a book is just so concentrated. So I feel good exploring things and having a few fights. I told my neighbor, I said, and she's 85, okay?
Mm.
And she's really got a lot of fight in her. I said, I really think that's what's keeping us alive.
That's what I say. But we'll get it all up there so that you can go right to it and support Miss La Donna Tittle in the middle, still
Woo-hoo.
doing her thing and waking up and causing folks to say, "Oh no, she up again."
She's up again. Up again. It's Donna. Oh my God.
Oh goodness. All right, dear. I will definitely be well, we connect every week, but I'll definitely be reaching out and I'll get this link to you so that you can check it out and do what you'd like to do with it too.
All right, darling.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for hanging out.
Thank you for being there and thank you for wanting to experience my experience.
Yes, ma'am. It's been a pleasure. And we will definitely talk again.
All right. As we say, you're cooking with Tittle. Bon appetit. Let's eat.
All right. And keep cool.
Yes.
All
Very
right.
cool.
Okay. Peace. Love you.
All right, babe. Have a good one. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That's Miss La Donna Tittle in the middle. And of course, again, as I said, I'll be sure to put those links on the comment section of the website. Before we go, I'm going to just remind you all of our word for the month of June, and that is Empyrean, which means relating to heaven or the sky. And just a quick reminder that you can always promote your business, your product, your service through this show and the website. All you have to do is send an email inquiry to producer at Maryland's Cafe Society.com. Be sure to check that website out, Maryland's Cafe Society.com. And also for YouTube viewers, be sure that you like, subscribe, and share this channel with others. And have you joined the email club? Well, all you have to do is send your email to Maryland's Cafe Society at yahoo.com and just say, sign me up, and I'll have your email there, and you'll get those weekly, just once a week, nice little inspirational, funny email from me. All right. All right, so let's just wrap it up with what love is. And love is our Heavenly Father, God. Yes, believe, believe, believe. All right, everybody. Until our next summer special, if you don't do anything else for the rest of the week and the time, be sure that you live, you laugh, and you love, and you love. And as always, that it's a pleasure and a privilege to hang out with you, and I'll see you on the next show. And once again, special thanks, much love to Miss La Donna Tittle in the middle. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Peace, everybody. Stay safe.